guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. Today we will be creating a spring Gel X nail set together, and I will be showing you some tips and tricks on Gel X application and art along the way. We're going to begin by sizing out our nail tips. I get asked very frequently where I get my nail tips from, so I will link them down below in case anyone is interested. When you're sizing out your nail tips, you want to make sure that they fit perfectly from sidewall to sidewall, and if you're stuck between two sizes, always size up and file down to your natural size. It's so important that the false tips fit perfectly on top of your natural nails and none of the nail bed is exposed, otherwise your nails will pop off. While I'm doing this, I also want to make sure that the false tips fit perfectly around my cuticles. As you can see, this nail tip is a little too square and leaves a gap near my cuticle, so to fix that, I'm going to file the edges until it fits more easily. Lastly, I want to pre-etch the cuticle area of the false tip with a 100 grit hand file so that it'll lay more naturally on top of my nail bed. This step always saves me time later on when it comes to sealing the cuticle. My nail tips come pre-etched, so I don't have to etch them myself. However, if you're using nail tips that aren't pre-etched, you can use a sanding band or a hand file to etch the inside. This will add texture to the false nail and allow them to stick more easily to the glue. The most important step you cannot skip if you want good retention is prep. It's been a couple of days since I already removed my cuticles and clipped the nail fold, so in this case, I will be doing minimal cuticle prep. I'm going to start by lightly going in with a cone bit at 4,000 RPM. Since I'm working from left to right, I'm using the drill going forward, and since I already removed my cuticles a few days ago, all I'm really doing is etching the nail. Now I'm going in with this ball-shaped bit at 5,000 RPM, and I'm using it to help remove any remaining loose cuticle from my nail plate. This step is completely optional. I like to clip off any excess dead skin with my nippers. This is only for aesthetic purposes. Using a mandrel bit and a 180 grit sanding band and a speed of 5,000 RPM, I'm gonna go over the entire nail bed and remove all the shine. I highly recommend using a dusting brush between these steps to avoid spreading oils back into your nails. Now, if you have a dehydrator, you can use that, but mine is not the best, so lately I've been getting away with using 99% isopropyl alcohol to dehydrate my nails, and it works like a charm. I'm gonna spray this evenly all over my nails and wipe these with a lint-free wipe. This step will get rid of any dust on top of your nails and strip the oils from your nails. They should look something like this if you've prepped them correctly. If you have problems with lifting or your Gel X nails keep popping off, I highly recommend you look into the Young Nails Protein Bond. It has my polygel and Gel X nails lasting for over 3 weeks with no lifting. To apply this, I dip my brush into the product and then wipe one side of the brush on the edge of the bottle, and then I apply the product all over my nails the same way I would apply nail polish. Remember to be precise and avoid touching the skin. I repeat these steps for each nail to ensure they each have an equal amount of product. If you have oily nails or you struggle with adhesion, I also recommend you try using 2 coats of this. Before we get into application, I want to demonstrate how to properly apply Gel-X tips to avoid spillage. What we don't want to do is apply our tips from the free edge to the bottom of the nail. This will cause a lot of spillage on your cuticle area. We also want to avoid placing the tip directly on top of the nail bed, as this will cause spillage all around. What we really want to do is place the very tip of the false nail at the bottom of our natural nail and push it gently towards the free edge until the gel covers the entire surface of the nail. Now that we've got that settled, let's get into application. I like to add a very thin layer of gel glue on my nails and not cure this. I feel like this helps the gel spread out more easily during application. Some people like to cure this layer for 60 seconds and then apply the tips normally. I have tried this before, and in my opinion, it doesn't make much of a difference, but always do what works best for you. Now go ahead and spread the gel glue all over the inside of the tip and add a little bit of extra product on the edge. Flash cure each gel tip in place and then fully cure your nails under a full-size nail lamp for 60 seconds. A small nail lamp is great for flash cures but won't cure the gel all the way through, so always remember to flash cure and then fully cure to make sure that the gel glue is fully polymerized. After applying the tips, you can shape them as needed. I decided to step a little out of my comfort zone today and try a long almond shape. And stiletto tips make it so easy to achieve this. All you have to do is clip a little bit of the ends. I like to clip just until the number is off, and using a 100 grit hand file, shape them to your desired shape. Once your nail tips have been shaped, now is a good time to seal the cuticles. To do this, I like to go in with the same 100 grit sanding band I used to prep my nails at a speed of 7,000 RPM and gently file near the cuticle until the false tip is flush with the nail. To further seal in the false tips into my natural nails, I like to use a small rounded brush and dip it in some acetone. Then I'll just go along the cuticle area with it, and I'm rubbing in that acetone until I see that the false tip has melted nicely into my natural nail. I'm also going to take a lint-free wipe and some acetone and gently etch the false tips. Base coat isn't required in Gel-X sets as long as you do this step. I like to continue rubbing in the acetone until it feels tacky, if that makes sense. If done correctly, you shouldn't really be able to tell where the false tip starts, and it should look seamless. These are all of the polishes I will be using today. I will have them all linked down below. Lots of pastels in here because it just screams spring to me. And I decided that on each nail I wanted a different ombre color. So first I'm going in with this beautiful pastel peachy orange, only applying it halfway up to the free edge. You want to make sure that you apply a thin coat of polish as this can be layered. So don't worry if the color doesn't look bold enough right now. And then ombreing it out with my ombre brush. When it comes to doing the ombre, I like to wipe the paint off my brush in between 5 to 10 strokes and continue. I try to ombre it as seamlessly as I can, but it's alright if your ombre ends up looking a little streaky because it'll be covered by the rubber base later on. Also, if your gel polish may be too thick and your ombre is coming out very streaky, I'd suggest dipping your brush in a little bit of acetone and then trying to ombre the nail. This should help significantly. Then once you're done with the finished ombre, cure your nails in the UV lamp for a full 60 seconds. I'm going to go in with a second coat of polish because I want to make sure that these pastel colors really pop. Make sure to add as many coats of color as you need during this step in order to have a seamless end result. I'm going to do the exact same thing once again and cure for an additional 60 seconds. Now onto the rubber base. I decided to use this beautiful milky white color and I'm adding a thin coat all over my nail bed, bringing it a little past my free edge. I'll then go in with a small detailing brush for more precision to make sure I get that rubber base coat on every surface inch of my nail. With the clean ombre brush, ombre that rubber base into the cured pastel color. Since a rubber base is a thick gel, I recommend dipping your ombre brush in some acetone to help with the blending. Once you're satisfied, cure this under the lamp for 60 seconds. For that funfetti glitter aspect of my ombre, I'll be using this lovely top coat from Madame Glam. It's called Ocean Pearl and I'll ombre this on the same way I ombre my pastels. I'm also going to drag some of these glitters past the free edge and into the white rubber base just for a little more detail and dimension. You don't have to use a glitter gel polish for this. If you have some loose glitter you want to use, you can try mixing it with your favorite top coat or simply add a layer of top coat onto the nail, ombre it out, and then place the glitters on gently one by one. Going back in with the white rubber base, I'll be applying a slip layer down to the free edge, and with a very small bead, I'm taking it down and blending it into the pastels once again. This part can be a little bit more difficult and tedious because you're working with more product. Alternatively, you can also continue adding the rubber base in layers like you would apply gel polish. If you're doing the bead method like me, always remember to flip your nails to build that apex and do a final blend before curing. Your nails should look something like this, convex over the nail bed, but we're going to fix that by filling it in with a clear rubber base. Since my Ocean Pearl top coat was very thick, I don't need to use a bead like I did with the white, so all I'm doing is applying a thick layer of the clear and ombreing it into the white rubber base. I'll then hold down my nail to give it some structure. Once I'm happy with the shape, then I'll cure it in the lamp for another 60 seconds. If you look closely, you can probably see the streaky clear rubber base lines that were left on top of my white rubber base, but it's okay because we're going to shape these. Before filing, always make sure that you remove that sticky layer first simply by rubbing some alcohol or acetone into the nails with a lint-free wipe. This will make the filing process much smoother and easier. Today, I will be using a large barrel top bit for shaping. This one is from Melody Susie, and at a speed of 7,000 RPM, I'm going to go in back and forth motions with gentle pressure. Rubber base is a soft, flexible gel and is very easy to overfile, so take your time on this step. Alternatively, you can also shape your nails with a hand file. It may take a little longer, but the risk of overfiling is lowered. I'm also going to go ahead and seal my cuticles with this same bit, and I'm just going to file all around the nail until it's not bumpy or shiny and I achieve the shape that I want. Remember to stop and check your nails on every angle between filing so you have a better idea of what areas may need more work. Now I'm taking this buffing block. I love it because it's dual-ended and they both have different grits on each side. I'm starting with the grittier side and essentially going over the entire surface and shaping the rubber base, and then I'm flipping the buffing block to the smoother grit to get rid of all the scratches I just made, and I'm repeating this step on each nail. Go ahead and dust the nails. I also like to wash my hands at this step, and then I'll go back and cleanse the nails with some rubbing alcohol to strip all of the oils before going in with the matte top coat. Lastly, I'm applying one of my favorite cuticle oils at the moment to add some moisture back into my skin and nails, and that's it. I love a matte finish, and I think that this glitter gel polish looks absolutely stunning with it. The pastel ombre is so beautiful and perfect for spring, and this has definitely been one of my favorite nail art designs by far. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next one.